So, you're in the early stages of your doctoral program, and you're about to face one of your first and honestly one of your biggest hurdles. We're going to break down one of the most critical steps you'll take, crafting your doctoral prospectus. Let's demystify this thing. First things first, congratulations. Seriously, getting into a doctoral program is a huge deal. But now that you're in, you might be staring up at what feels like an even bigger mountain, figuring out what you're actually going to research. So, what is that next big decision? Think about all the work it took just to get here. All those hours you spent digging through brochures, comparing programs, weighing your options. Well, guess what? Choosing your research focus, it needs that exact same level of intense, organized effort. It's a journey where every single step really, really counts.
So let's talk about that journey. What's the very first formal step you're going to take as a doctoral researcher?
For pretty much every university, it all starts right here, with the doctoral study prospectus. This is it. This is your official starting line for the whole research proposal process. And listen, this prospectus isn't just some piece of paperwork you have to fill out. The best way to think about it is like an architect's blueprint for a skyscraper, right? If that foundation is solid and perfectly planned, the whole structure is going to be strong. But if it's flawed, even just a little, everything you try to build on top of it is going to be on shaky ground. Okay, so how do you make sure that foundation is absolutely rock solid? Well, the answer comes down to one simple but incredibly powerful concept: alignment. The best way to picture alignment is to think of it as a golden thread. It's this thread that you're going to weave through every single part of your study, from your problem to your purpose to your research questions, making sure everything is logically connected and that each piece supports the others. And that thread, it all starts with your problem statement. This is the bedrock. This is where you clearly define what the problem is that you're looking into, and just as important, why it actually matters. Why is it worth studying? Now, flowing directly from that problem is your purpose statement. So if the problem statement sets up the what and the why, your purpose statement comes in and explains the how. How exactly are you planning to tackle this issue? And that purpose, in turn, is what shapes your research questions. These are the super specific, focused, and measurable questions that your study is actually going to answer. You can see the chain reaction, right? The problem leads to the purpose, and the purpose leads to these specific questions. That is alignment in action. So why do we care so much about this? Why is getting this alignment right from the very beginning so critical? What's the number one payoff? Here it is. A well-aligned study has an exponentially higher chance of making a real, significant contribution to your field. You're not just trying to check a box to get your degree. You're trying to add a valuable, meaningful piece to the giant puzzle of human knowledge. Okay, let's get practical now. What are the core components, the actual building blocks you need to put together for this prospectus? For a quantitative study, your blueprint is typically going to have 5 main parts. You'll have that problem statement we talked about to define the issue, then your purpose statement to outline your plan, you'll describe the nature of the study to justify your methods, you'll lay out your specific research questions, and finally, you'll state your testable hypotheses, those core predictions that really drive a quantitative study. This table is basically your roadmap. It's perfect. Each part has its own job, but they all have to connect. The problem statement sets the whole stage. The purpose statement declares your mission. The nature of the study explains why you chose your tools. The research questions sharpen your focus down to a fine point, and the hypotheses make a testable bet. You see how each piece has to lock into the next one? It's beautiful. All right, let's bring all this home and talk about how you can start building this foundation for your own amazing work. And remember, this is not just some academic hoop you have to jump through. A strong, well-aligned plan is your roadmap to finishing your doctorate, yes, but also to launching the next phase of your career. This whole process is designed to set you up for success, both in school and long after. And this isn't some far-off, abstract idea. For many of you, this is happening right now. The work you're putting in today is building directly toward your draft doctoral study prospectus, which, by the way, is due in week 11. You are literally drawing that blueprint as we speak. This quote it nails it, doesn't it? Proper alignment isn't just about passing a class or getting through the program. It is about positioning your work to make a real, lasting impact. It's the thing that elevates your research from just a project to a genuine contribution. So as you sit down to start working on your prospectus, just remember this. You are laying the foundation for your entire doctoral journey. The choices you make right now will define the strength, the integrity, and the impact of the incredible structure you're about to build. Your research starts here. What will its foundation be?